Hello Virgo. Welcome to my channel, Sarah Angel Tarot. This is your reading. Remember, it will not resonate with all of you, but I tried to reach the majority. This will be the 5-card spread, a bonus reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And remember, like I said, it may not resonate, okay? And also realize that Tarot is here to help, not to hinder, like I said before. If you don't like the path you're going, change it. If you like the path you're going, embrace it. And if you want to see more videos, hit that subscribe and the bell to be notified. Coming in energy. Looks like a happy home may be coming towards you. As the bonus reading, this is what you're seeking also. It's the 4 of Wands. It's good tidings for a home life, if this is what you're wanting. In the past here is a 4 of Swords. Someone that's needing to take a break, maybe go on vacation. I've said that a few times for Virgo in the past. But someone who also needs to recover from something. We will clarify. And remember, as I clarify, it changes the story up, so bear with me. Obstacle, Page of Cups. You don't like what's being offered to you, or in a message. Or maybe you're dealing with a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Maybe you're not liking, like I said, the messages that you're receiving, or you feel like you need to receive things that are, that are worth your while. Current environment is the Emperor. Some of you may be dealing with an Aries. Others may be taking control of the situation, which sounds a lot like the last reading. But, it may trickle over from this last reading, or I may be getting a whole different energy. But it looks like someone's needing to take a break from something, needing to recuperate and take control. And don't worry about messages that aren't good for you. Outside environment is the 2 of Swords. Someone from the outside is not seeing things clearly. Somebody's got their swords up against you. They're blocking you in some way, or blocking your feelings. And maybe you're trying to reach them or say something to them or want to, but for some reason they got their swords up, and we will clarify. In the end, the Empress. There's no growth with this person that's blocking you in some ways, but it could be a good thing. It also could be, for very few of you, you're wanting to conceive, and maybe you're having blockages there. But you do have a happy home situation that is starting out. So let's see what that's all about. This is just telling me bits and parts of what's going on. I need to clarify. So we need the 4 of Swords first. 4 of Swords in the past. Why are you there? Maybe you took a break. Maybe you needed a vacation. Maybe you recovered from an illness. Maybe you were just tired. 4 of Swords in the upright. Why are you there? In the past. For Virgo. Because you didn't get a victory in something, you needed to back off a little. 4 of Swords in the upright. 6 of Wands in reverse. Why are you there? In the past for Virgo. That's you not feeling 100%. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Now remember, any sign, any person can go into reverse. You don't have to be, I know I've seen readings where it says they're the most horrible person. It's not. They're just not feeling themselves. It could be depression, illness, insecurities. Sometimes they are mean, but usually it's just someone not feeling themselves, and for whatever reason, the reason is actually for you feel like you didn't get a victory and you needed a break. So that's basically you're exhausted, like I said, physically, mentally, it doesn't matter. Now the obstacle is the Page of Cups. Like I said, this could be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. They are in reverse. Why are you there? Page of Cups in reverse. What's going on here? Like I said, this could be emotions too. Someone's giving you a heavy burden. It could be a message that was emotional message that was a heavy burden, and you wanted to release it, and you're trying to release it. So, or maybe not getting a message also with the Page of Cups in reverse. So you need to release a burden. That's the obstacle. You're not really releasing it. So Page of Cups, 10 of Wands, both in reverse as the obstacle. Why are you there? for Virgo. The Star, it's something you feel is hopeless with the Star card in reverse. You're losing hope. Don't lose hope. Remember, you got that 10 of Cups from that last reading. And you got that 4 of Wands. That is the incoming energy. You can, like I said, change this path if you don't like certain elements of it. Or you can embrace it. Maybe this is what you're wanting. But the Emperor in the upright, as the current environment, is taking control of a situation. For very few of you, you'll be dealing with an Aries, getting involved with one or talking with one. But this is taking control of a situation, and you see how he's looking in the past, of taking control of the past. So the Emperor in the upright, why are you there, as the current environment for Virgo. So you can gain happiness with the Sun, taking control of your own happiness. So the Emperor, the Sun card, both in the upright, why are you there for Virgo? Yeah, you put maybe dealing with the chaotic situations from the past with the Chariot in reverse. That is either something stops that you want to stop, and maybe you're putting something to a stop or a halt, or, you know, putting a halt to chaos, you know, because with the Chariot, it's kind of chaotic, you know, a little bit. It also could be that some of you don't want to travel anymore or go somewhere. You want to stay where you're at. But it's all kind of things. It'll be different for everybody. There are a lot of Virgos out there. Now, outside environment is the Two of Swords. Someone's got their swords up around you, and they're putting the blinders on outside. You're seeing things clearly. It shows. Even though you need to take a break, I see you taking control, trying to regain your happiness. But someone on the outside is got their, you know, swords up. They're blocking a situation because they're trying to keep peace within themselves. Usually, when they do that, they can't handle a situation. So you put a blindfold on. You put your swords up. You know. So Two of Swords as the outside environment. Why are you there for Virgo? King of Cups. It could be someone whose emotions aren't in check. They're feeling they can't handle a situation when they're in reverse like this. When they put the swords up, they're trying to block stuff because they can't deal with it right now. And that could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or someone, like I said, with emotions like this. It does not have to be a sign. But Two of Swords in the upright, King of Cups in reverse. Why are you there for Virgo? They got too much going on. They're carrying too much. They're busy and they're taking on probably too much more than they can do. And they'll eventually will drop a situation. So they're blocking you, or someone is blocking a situation because they're just taking on too much. They're juggling. They're taking on too much energy. And it could be, I'm thinking for a lot of you, or for a lot of people that are around you, it could have to do with the finances and just their overall stability in life. Now, in the end, we got the Empress in reverse. The Empress in reverse, why are you there for Virgo? Why are you there? It's a couple want to come out. There's that moon. Things are seen again. Things are very clear. The Death card in reverse again, and having to make a choice. Okay, I know what this is about. You're not going to have growth because unless you see things clearly with the moon in reverse. This is a lot like the last reading. And put away things that shouldn't be resurrected. And, you know, don't worry about things you can't change, in other words. And make a conscious choice with the Two of Wands again to decide on something instead of trying to hold on to both things and not letting go. One has to be let go so you can grab a hold of the other one with both hands and take life, you know, fully and live the way you want to. And that's what it's telling you here. I don't think this person has anything against you in general that's on the outside. I think there's just so much going on in them that they can't handle situations emotionally right now. They can't handle stuff on an emotional level because they're juggling something. And I know people say it's always people. It doesn't have to be people. Usually Pentacles is financial. I know. They throw in relationships with the Pentacles. And it can be when it's about security. But usually it has to do with stability in life and a lot of times material. Now, in the end, it looks like you'll still be hanging around for some reason, and you really shouldn't, you know? You're waiting. You're waiting, waiting, waiting. What are you waiting for, huh, Virgo? Leave it in the comments. It'll be different for all of you. But if you want to go this path, the Emperor and the Sun is the right way to go. Go for that Four of Wands for your happiness. I understand you're waiting for this person to come around, but there's some type of manipulation going on with the Magician. You know? And if you keep on waiting for this person, nothing's going to come of it right now. You know, with that past situation, even though things are, you know, you need to take a break and have some fun. You need to just enjoy yourself. But I'm going to let this go, and I will talk to you later, and have a nice day. Bye.